Some people will tell you that praying while lying down is lazy. Some even say it's disrespectful, as if God only listens to prayers offered on your knees with folded hands and perfect posture. But what if one of the most powerful prayers in Scripture was prayed by a man flat on his back, and God answered it immediately? Here's what rarely gets said. God is not measuring your posture, He's examining your heart. Religious culture often turns prayer into choreography. Stand here, kneel there, lift your hands, close your eyes. But the Bible tells a far more freeing story. When King Hezekiah was told he was about to die, there was no worship band playing softly in the background, no dramatic altar moment. The prophet Isaiah walked into his room and delivered devastating news. Put your house in order, you will not recover. Imagine hearing that. No hope, no alternative, just the end. Scripture says Hezekiah turned his face toward the wall and prayed. He didn't get out of bed, he didn't kneel. He simply turned and cried out to God from where he was. And before Isaiah had even left the palace courtyard, God stopped him and said, "Go back. I have heard his prayer. I will add 15 years to his life." A dying man, lying down, whispering toward a wall, and heaven moved instantly. Jacob, at the end of his life, worshipped while leaning on his staff because he was too weak to stand on his own. David wrote about remembering God while lying on his bed in the watches of the night. Hannah prayed so broken and undone that the priest thought she was drunk. Jonah prayed from inside a fish. Peter prayed while sinking in the sea. The thief on the cross prayed without the ability to move at all. Again and again, Scripture reveals the same truth. God responds to sincerity, not posture. Prayer is connection, not performance. It is communication, not religious theater. Think about when you tend to pray lying down. Usually, it's when you're exhausted, when the day has drained you, when you're sick, when it's 2 a.m. and anxiety won't let you sleep. Those are not lazy moments, they're vulnerable ones, stripped of pretense, free of performance. Honest. And honesty is what God desires. The Pharisees loved being seen praying in public. Jesus didn't condemn standing in prayer, he condemned praying to impress. The issue was never posture, it was authenticity. Pray without ceasing, Paul writes. That alone dismantles the idea that prayer requires one physical stance. You cannot kneel 24 hours a day. You cannot stand endlessly. Prayer was meant to be woven into real life, while driving, cooking, working, walking, and yes, lying in bed. Sometimes praying while lying down is the most genuine prayer you'll ever pray. When your body is weak, your heart often becomes honest. When you're too tired to perform, you simply speak. And Romans reminds us that the Spirit helps us in our weakness. God does not demand that you gather physical strength just to access Him. He meets you in your frailty. Posture can help focus, but it does not determine access. Some kneel to express reverence, some walk to stay alert, some lift hands in surrender. These are personal expressions, not divine requirements. God is not rejecting prayers because someone is horizontal instead of vertical. Religion creates formulas. Relationship creates freedom. Maybe you work night shifts and your only quiet moment with God is when you collapse into bed. Maybe you're a parent who finally finds stillness after the kids are asleep. Maybe chronic pain makes kneeling impossible. Do you think heaven rates your prayer lower because of that? Of course not. In fact, some of the deepest intimacy with God happens when we stop trying to impress Him and simply reach for Him. Paul learned that God's power is made perfect in weakness. Your physical weakness does not limit God's ability to respond. It often creates room for Him to move. Jesus did not die to give you a prayer technique. He died to give you access, direct access, anytime, anywhere, in any condition. So when you're awake at 3 a.m., heart racing, pray right there. When you're sick and can barely lift your head, talk to Him. When you're exhausted and all you can manage is a whisper into the dark, let that whisper rise. God is not checking your posture, He's listening for your heart. Hezekiah prayed lying down and received 15 more years. You might pray lying down and receive peace that finally lets you sleep. You might receive clarity, strength, or the breakthrough you've been waiting for. Whether you're standing in a sanctuary, kneeling beside your bed, sitting in your car, or flat on your back staring at the ceiling, if your heart is reaching for God, He hears you. So pray, not perfectly, not performatively, just honestly. Pray lying down if you need to. Just pray.